Wealth Depot helps achieve your financial goals. This is Saturdays in the Southeast on SEN.
Yeah, as you can tell by that, we're going to start talking about wealth now. Thanks to Wealth Depot, it helps achieve your financial goals. Principal Financial Advisor Sebastian Mazar from Wealth Depot is on the line. G'day, Sebastian.
G'day, guys. How are we?
Yeah, good. Part of the show, this is the first show, and Jake and I talked about this off the top. We want to make people healthier in mind and in body. We want to make people wealthier by making some really good choices. And we want to talk footy. That's what this is all about. We've got you on this week to talk about lots of wealth tips and advice you can give some of our listeners. Of course, if you want advice, please, we are not giving, this is general advice only. So if you want to seek specific advice, perhaps give Sebastian a call. So I know, Jake, you want to talk about what's been going on with the banks overseas and how it affects us, right?
Yeah, we do. I mean, everyone was seeing the media of late, just the challenges that we've been having over in America, and we thought it was a great time to get you on, Seb, just to talk about the collapse of the US banks in Silicon Valley and Signature Bank, and exactly how does that affect us here in Australia as a mum and dad trying to potentially borrow or buy a home?
I guess where we need to start is like what actually happened and why it happened, and then we can relate that back to our own somewhat circumstance. So those two banks in America, it was more about risk management, understanding their short-term liquidity and long-term liquidity needs, and there was just a mismatch basically of those two competing objectives basically. So the powers that be made calls around their bank's liquidity needs, but as funding or as depositors became a little bit more concerned about their own short-term cash flow needs, they started pulling money out of this bank. But leading up to that point, the banks had made investments on behalf of those depositors into very secure investments, e.g. government securities, treasury bonds, etc. And what we've had happen, we've had this massive escalating or significant escalating of interest rates over the last 10 months now, and that caused a lot of those assets on their balance sheet to basically loss riders. And because of that demand by depositors to take their cash out of the bank had to start making actual redemption of asset transactions. That meant that they were actually starting to make losses on their investments, and then that just unravels everything for the bank. So it wasn't that the banks were doing anything mischievous, or they were taking on risk that wasn't able to be funded or controlled. It was just that mismanagement, and it just brought everything to a bit of a halt. What the US government and the central bank did, they shored up the depositors, so that way depositors could take as much cash as possible, but the investors and those holding sort of more what we call or less senior debt, unfortunately lost out.
So just
with Europe with Credit Suisse a little bit. Yeah.
Sorry, mate, so just with that, how does that affect us here in Australia? What's the ripple effect here to mum and dads?
All it does is erode confidence in the banking system in terms of the sentiment and that I guess confidence that is us as people we put money in the bank to protect and secure our savings, that we have that little bit of uncertainty about how secure that is, and that creates then a run in terms of us taking our money out of the banks or moving our money from one bank to another bank, or physically taking it out of the actual system, which then would create short-term liquidity problems for the economy.
But do we still have bank guarantees? Like, does the government still back our savings in banks?
Yes. These are the levers or the capabilities that our banks and our government have to try and build confidence back into the system. So yes, in Australia we have a government guarantee that says if you have deposits of $250,000 or less with the bank, your money guaranteed.
Right.
And that's across all banks.
Is it a good time right now, mate, to go out and lend money to buy a home?
Well, what we're finding in the market is that the bank margins are getting squeezed from the cost of them funding or finding those dollars to actually lend out, and obviously and the cost of that compared to what they really can charge the end consumer. So their margins are getting squeezed. So for us, we find that even though effective cash rates from the Reserve Bank are increasing, we're finding that the banks are just passing it on straight away, and that's because they sort of need to, because they're just getting squeezed. So we're finding that buying capacity, interest rates will probably remain quite high for the short term, and there's a lot of commentary, a lot of economists are predicting the rates might come down 2024 on the back of inflation getting under control.
Rightio. So it's always best to still have that 20% deposit if you've got that, that gives you more choice, doesn't it? That gives you more bargaining power as a borrower.
Well, yeah, that's right. So just to relate all this stuff that's happening in the banking system with what's on the ground, those sort of fundamental things about buffers, about making sure you've got adequate equity in your property deal, will help safeguard you from short-term noise, short-term erosion of confidence, and hopefully ensure that you can maintain your loan repayments at the end of the day.
Right. At Wealth Depot, they focus on improving financial knowledge to help clients live their best life. This has been general knowledge only. If you want more advice specific to you, maybe reach out to Sebastian Mazza from Wealth Depot, and no doubt will help guide you on your wealth path. Hey, mate, appreciate your time on joining us on our first ever Saturdays in the Southeast show, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Have a great day, everybody.
Yes,
Right, yeah, this is Saturdays in the Southeast. Break time. When we come back, I'm going to talk footy. The footy part of health, wealth, and